It's your council. Take part in it. Learn about the PD Area Council coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Alan Clemens campsite at Camp Coker, the PD Area Council of the Boy Scouts camp here in Society Hill. We're focused on 75 years of Camp Coker and the PD Area Council, and we're visiting with Justice Johnny Waller and his son Rand, a justice of the state Supreme Court and an Eagle Scout and member of the Order of the Arrow. Rand, a big, exciting time to be out here, to think on a Wednesday, to be out here and to be paired up with Bernie Moore, an incredible morning, and out at this campsite, which the two of y'all, as well as so many folks, were instrumental in clearing out, to think we can actually see the lake behind us. This is amazing.
Really a nice campsite.
Truly, truly. Alan Clemens and his family, as well as all Scouts, should be proud. Thanks so much for being with us this morning. Real quick, Johnny, y'all live in and of course, for viewers who know you as Justice John Waller, I've got to say we're in Chesterfield County, so we can now drop down to Johnny. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Are you originally from the area?
I was born and raised in Mullins. Lived there all my life except when I was in service and in school.
Mm-hmm.
So it's home.
Absolutely. Marion County is so much. And Rand, you've been there a heck of a long time.
Yes, sir.
Marion's an exciting place to be, and you're at the PD Academy.
Yes, sir.
That's and that's been there in Marion County a long time.
A long time. I can remember when it started, and it was a long time ago.
Boy, howdy.
I'm dating myself now.
We better be careful. That's right. You guys don't hear that. Don't hear that. We don't know. We don't work with years. Johnny, how long have you been on the state Supreme Court?
Went on the Supreme Court in '94. I was a circuit court judge prior to that, but been there since '94. And
you had practiced law in Marion County for how long prior to?
Oh, great.
Oh, God! Again, we're not using years. That's right. We're focused on the Boy Scouts. I'm sorry.
I came back to Mullins to practice law as a sole practitioner right out of law school. Got out of law school in '63 and practiced there. Got involved in politics. Stayed in that for a while. Was fortunate enough to get elected to the circuit court bench. Stayed there for a number of years and finally settled where I am now.
You at one time were a representative for Marion County.
Yep.
And serving in that capacity, did you always represent, when we think of representatives, they always represent a specific geographic area?
Well, at the time I served, it wasn't the single-member districts like it is now. You represented a county. And so I was one of two representatives from Marion County. It was later cut down to one. But, I initially went there when it was two.
When you started as a sole practitioner there in Marion County, did you ever have thoughts that one day you'd be sitting on the bench looking down, particularly this bench, the state Supreme Court?
I didn't have thoughts. I had dreams. That was a lot different. I never thought I could get there, but I had a dream to get there.
In one of five. One of five. What is that? For viewer, I mean, has Rand visited you there at the Supreme Court?
Rand hasn't been there while we were working. We've been to the Supreme Court a lot, after work, and he's been through the building and all. I've shown him around, shown him where we work and where we do particular things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's visited it.
Truly exciting. And to think, now, were you a scout growing up?
I was a scout, but I didn't advance too much in scouting. I have advanced an awful lot in scouting as a result of Rand. Rand and I have been through it together.
Absolutely. When you think about that, and as your son has progressed, as Rand has progressed in his scouting career, do you often regret not having experienced for yourself as advanced as you would have liked?
Oh, I really have a hard time accepting the fact that I didn't do it when I was young. But the fact that I didn't do it when I was young, I think, allows me to be a better assistant scoutmaster, because I can tell these young people why they need it and why they need to work for it. And told Rand an awful lot during that period of time when he was working for his Eagle.
Absolutely. What's that like hearing your dad talk about it, knowing that he missed out on something that you're now loving, and now at some level he's living it through you?
Yes, sir. I can say I'm an Eagle Scout and he isn't.
That is the thrill of a day. and a week and a month and a year. That must be exciting.
It's very exciting.
Your dad talked last time when we were together, I think, about a trip that he made around his, it was a birthday, there was something going on, it was a big trip, a scout trip. Were you on that trip?
Yes, sir.
You remember that? It was
Yes,
a boat
sir.
trip.
Canoe trip.
What's that like being out with your dad? Obviously, there are leaders and there are other volunteers, there are other boys out with you. What's that like having your dad out there?
It's not weird. It's just fun to have your dad out there. Sometimes it's at work and you don't get to see him a whole lot. You get to see him a lot when you're camping or something.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be exciting. Obviously, the Dixie Fellowship of the Order of the Arrow recently held a conclave here at Camp Coker. Can you talk, Johnny, real quick about some of the projects that were undertaken while y'all were here?
Well, Greg, we as members of the Santee Lodge didn't really get to get involved in it as much as the other people from North Carolina and Georgia and South Carolina did. Reason being is the Santee Lodge was the host lodge and actually were the ones that were doing a lot of the work. So our members didn't get to participate in a lot of the activities like the other people did. But it was real enjoyable seeing all these people, and it's just such a nice, fun group of people. It was really nice. I enjoyed it.
And when was it, Johnny, that you and Rand and was it a lodge or a troop for viewers who may not be familiar with the Scouts were out here cleaning this campsite?
Was it 2 years ago it was, wasn't it, when we came out here and it was a brand new site? And when we came here, it didn't have any of the dirt where it was supposed to be. It didn't have any steps where you could walk down. You couldn't see the lake behind us. And we like to get us a campsite and stick with it. So we decided we were going to improve it. So we took the troop and we came up here and we worked on it and we improved it.
It is gorgeous. It is truly gorgeous. Alan's got to be excited, and so many of the folks, I mean, it just bears his name, but he was just one of the folks just getting the ball rolling, and y'all have obviously taken it to an entirely new level. Rand, what was it like? Can you tell us what impressed you the most about the experience here 10 days ago at the 2003 Dixie Fellowship?
Yes, sir. There was nothing that really impressed me a whole lot. I just liked it all. One thing I did like a lot is I got to see some of my friends, and I got to meet new people from North Carolina that I didn't know.
Right, absolutely. Now, do some of your friends' parents get involved in scouting as well?
No, sir, not really. Not that I can think of right now.
Well, that's even more exciting to get your dad out here, seeing him out cutting bushes and laying out alleyways for water to roll off, and to think about laying these steps. It must be, it's good putting them to work, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
It must be good putting them to work. Johnny, what do you think about the process by which Rand became an Eagle Scout and a member of the Order of the Arrow? What do you...
Oh, Greg, that is one of the greatest things that a young boy or a young man can possibly do. There are 12 required merit badges that you have to have in order to be an Eagle Scout. And I started analyzing those 12 merit badges one time when Rand started going through, wondering why it was those 12. And if you get those 12 and learn those 12, you are so far ahead of other people your age. And I think that's why an Eagle Scout is just ahead of a lot of people because they have gone through that process.
And the incredible thing is your son's 13. He's already attained the rank of Eagle.
He told me when he was 11 years old that he wanted to be an Eagle Scout by the time he was 13, and I told him how hard that would be, and he said he was willing to do it. So I told him, I said, well, if you're willing to do it, we'll work on it. So I think there was a time or two that he wished he hadn't said it.
Well, why did you decide on 13, Rand?
It was something my brother never did, and I wanted to do it so I could brag about it.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to brag about it not only with your brother, but your dad as well.
Yes, sir.
That is huge. That is huge. Rand, can you talk about how you felt, just how you felt when you received that Eagle Scout rank?
Well, at first it felt like, well, I finally accomplished my goal. And then it started sinking in after a while. It's a lot of responsibility. A lot of responsibility. People expect too much from you after you get Eagle Scout.
The word's too much from you. Oh,
Too
no.
much.
Wow. What now? How has that affected you? I mean, folks have just They've asked a lot. I mean, they know it's a big deal. Almost always it's boys 15, 16, 17, even 18-year-olds that haven't yet attained the rank of Eagle. They must expect a lot.
Yes, sir.
That must be a little bit of pressure. How about being a member of the Order of the Arrow? That's a big deal as well.
Yes, sir. It's a pretty big deal. I like being a part of it. The thing about coming back up here in October during Fall Fellowship to become brotherhood and get into it a little more.
Yeah. That will be exciting. Rand, are many of your school friends involved in scouting?
Yes, sir. All of them are except for 2 of them, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And they like it just as much as I like it.
Is that right? Yeah, that
Yes,
must be
sir.
exciting to be. Now, why do you think? I mean, have you been working the other guys to get involved, or to try to interest them in scouting?
Well, yes, sir, sort of. There's 3 new members who just joined. I got them to come and
Right.
have the fun I'm having. And I started after all the people, and I got up ahead of them. So, I mean, that was something good.
That is amazing. He's getting ahead of his friends. He's getting ahead of his brother. Getting ahead of his dad.
Yeah, he is.
Folks are going to expect a lot out of you, Rand. You better slow down. It's kind of like getting out. Oftentimes, there are charity organizations that get out to raise funds each year. They'll have a big year, and then there's expectations that next year they've got to do even 20% more than that. So I'm sure you are asked for a lot, but that must make you feel good.
Yes, sir, very good.
That must make you feel good. Johnny, has Rand's experience in scouting had any influence on you personally?
Oh, very much so. Whenever he first got involved in scouting, told me he wanted to be an Eagle, I got involved with him to try to teach him a lot of these things and make sure he went to the right place. And in getting involved with him, I also got involved with the other members of the troop, and we're bringing them up. We've got about 6 boys that are real close to being an Eagle, and it has let me have a part of these other young fellows' lives, and it has really just meant an awful lot to me. I can't say enough about how good scouting is. It really is a great organization.
Whether you're hearing that from a Supreme Court justice or just the dad of an Eagle, particularly a dad who never attained that rank himself, it is an organization that brings folks together. Those 12 points that are laid out are instilled not only in young men, but in their parents who may not have had the opportunity to experience that at an early age. Thank you, Justice John Waller. Rand, this has really meant a lot being out here this morning. Stay tuned with Bernie Moore coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome back to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Alan Clemens campsite at Camp Coker in Society Hill. We're focused on the 75th anniversary of Camp Coker and the Petey Area Council of the Boy Scouts, and we're visiting with the council's treasurer, Bernie Moore. Good morning, Bernie.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Good to be here.
Obviously following Johnny Waller and his son Rand, those two both said there's no one they better be paired up with in the morning than Bernie Moore.
I feel the same way.
That's fantastic. The feelings are mutual. Bernie, you're originally from the area?
Yeah, originally from Florence. Grew up in Florence.
Is that right? Did you attend school in the area?
Yeah, I graduated from high school and then went into the United States Army and Air Force, Air Corps, and afterwards I came back to Florence and then went off to school to a Capital Radio Engineering Institute in Washington for 3 years. Then I came back in the area, built radio stations and worked at radio stations until 1954 when Jefferson Standard built WBTW, and I hired on as engineer there.
Is that so? When someone asks you, what was your first job out of school, Bernie? I guess you were in school or in the Air Corps prior to that, building radio stations and then putting WBTW on the air.
Until I got old enough to go into service, I worked with a construction company building Florence Air Base for about 6 months until I became old enough. Then I volunteered and joined service.
Son of a gun. That's amazing. Now, I was at actually I was in Florence for the opening of Carousel a few weeks back at Florence Little Theater, And afterwards, at a party, someone was talking about WBTW at Channel 8. I didn't know that TV 13 had been Channel 8 at one point.
Yes, we were up until 1963. Jeff Standard was going to open up Channel 8 by juggling the maps. They could move Channel 13 into Florence at 190 miles both ways. Mm-hmm. Then we could drop in Channel 8 in High Point. And they pretty thought, cheered that they were going to get it. And I was going to be the engineer to build it. But it didn't come through. The local people came to bat, and because all the local politics wanted local people.
Right.
And the sad thing about it, Jeff Standard had to sell their interest in Channel 2 up there to get Channel 8, and they sold it, and they didn't end up not getting it.
That is amazing. So Jefferson Standard at that time sold off their interest in WFMY with hopes to get Channel 8.
Yeah.
That is incredible. I did not know that story.
They really, that was not a very good decision.
And probably one of the few bad decisions made by that company over the so many years.
It was a great company to work for them.
I'm sure.
Really
and they're still a great broadcaster. Of course, they own WBTV in Charlotte and a station in Richmond and one down in Charleston.
WWBT,
in Richmond and CSC down in Charleston.
Yeah.
Great broadcaster. We interviewed Rita O'Neill, their general manager, a couple months ago when we were down in Charleston.
It's a good operation. Very clean. Very, very dedicated to the public service.
Absolutely. Bernie, do you miss the daily grind of being in a TV station, climbing towers, fixing equipment?
Not really. All you have to have one good windstorm and hurricane and ice storm, and you get all of it at you right there.
Yeah. What about working with all those news directors and news folks?
Well, camera people, and we've had cameras dropped in the river, left in the desert. So it's good not to have to do that.
Yeah. Bernie, you were the chief engineer at WBTW for 45 plus years.
No, 1960s into 91.
Okay.
When I retired.
Okay.
It was 30. Maybe 25.
But you went on the staff there at WBTW in the early 50s.
Yeah, I was one of the first people hired for the staff, and I built the station and put in all the original equipment.
That is amazing. Well, obviously, our focus is all your years involved in scouting and being the treasurer for so many years for the PD Area Council. But do you have family here in the area, Bernie?
Yes, my mother and dad lived in Florence, and I have a sister that lives in Florence. And so we were local family in Florence. When I grew up, it was a very small town. It was a railroad town with maybe 100 trains coming through town every day. And so half the people in Florence worked for the railroad. My dad did, my granddad, and all of them railroad people.
That is amazing, Bernie. How many years have you been involved?
Well, I was real strange. Sunday morning, the Dixie Fellowship, the concave, always happens this week in April, and I celebrated my birthday, which was the day I joined. So I had 66 years in last Sunday morning, and got up 5 o'clock cooking breakfast.
That is amazing. 66 years you've been involved not only in scouting but within this same council.
Same council.
That is unbelievable.
It's hard for me to believe.
That is true. And now, when did you join the executive board, and your primary responsibility as treasurer would be what?
I joined the executive board when I gave up my troops and became OA advisor. Then I think it was 1972 I got on the executive board, and was I think next year was elected treasurer. I've been treasurer probably 30 years.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
30 years as treasurer.
Yeah.
Golly, well, of course, the last 5 years there's been such a big boon, obviously, in the capital improvements to Camp Coker and raising funds, but there's still big needs within the council.
The big needs, and if you really look at what all the improvements been, so much of it's underground. We put in a complete sewer system for all the bathrooms and all that, and so much of our money went under the ground that when you come up, there's an awful lot you can see, but all these bathroom stuff all around, there's awful lots of work had to be done underground, with sewer pipes and pump stations and all of this hilly location.
Bernie, we're celebrating the 75 years of Camp Coker, but when was Camp Coker first utilized by the Boy Scouts?
It opened at Camp PD in 1929, and then I think about 1932, a bunch of his friends named it after Mr. Coker. And it's been Camp Coker ever since, and they've been very generous in supporting Scouts.
Yes. Do you have any special memories from your days in scouting here, experiences up here?
Yeah. Myself and Dr. Franklin Mason were buglers, and we used to, one of us get on the hill and another cross, and we used to play taps with the echo, and that's something I'll always remember.
Wow.
And, but you know, the camp had nine cabins, and we could put about 54 people in, and had 8 staff. So you know, we talking about 72 max people here, and now we had over 1,000 in at the conclave for the Olive Hour, and it really wasn't crowded.
That's amazing. Over 1,000.
Yeah.
72 to over 1,000.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
And I think as we grow, the only thing holding us back now is a dining hall, and we put up a huge tent that had chairs and chairs for 800 people, and then we had food on it. And the amazing thing about all this, the volunteers did all the food preparation. And we had dinner at 6 o'clock, and had 6 food lines, and had a boy serving every item. And at 6:20, everybody had gone through the line.
Golly, Bernie.
I've never seen that happen before. They wouldn't even have to stop walking; just walk right on through.
That is amazing. When you think about it, you used a very important word within the PD Area Council, with scouting nationally, volunteers.
Yeah, volunteers. Volunteers is the name of the game. Professionals, they guide, but the volunteers have to pick it up and really do the work. And we've got more volunteers involved in it now, and people who, just like Jess Waller, Scoutmaster, volunteering his time, comes up, and he was up at Camp Coker that last concave, and so it's been a wonderful experience to see how things are coming together up there.
How does the Camp Coker you originally intended compare with the Camp Coker we're sitting at this morning?
Well, the original Camp Coker, there's one building left that was here when I was a boy.
Wow.
And that's used to be the cook's cabin, and then it's a college place. So everything else had changed, and you know, to the better. We were in a bad fix 6 years ago. We didn't meet minimum standards for DHEC, other Boy Scouts of America, and so we either had to improve it or they would close us down. So it was difficult, but once you get things rolling, most people will work for something successful than they will when something not. So I think the momentum is going now, and I think we're going to build a dining hall.
Spectacular. That is such a big effort. When you think about the major renovations underway, now that you've gotten so much of the underground work done, the sewer work done, the dining hall is truly the biggest renovation project ahead.
Yeah, and hopefully where we had the big tent, we cleared and leveled that off, and that the property committee of volunteers, they fixed that site, and that's where we had the tent for the 800 seats, right where the new dining hall will be built.
Obviously, when folks ask you, Bernie, about your experiences at Camp Coker, you think back to that experience of playing taps across the lake out here. But you've been experiencing Camp Coker virtually for those entire 66 years. I mean, your experiences go up to today. You were out here at the conclave a weekend before last. You were experiencing everything out here. What's your role currently at Camp Coker?
Volunteer.
Absolutely.
I volunteered to come up and help cook. And you know, I could probably gotten a job sitting around the counter or something like that, but I got up 4:30 in the morning and we cooked 2,000 sausage patties and all that. I mean,
That was amazing.
and the amazing thing about it, the people doing all that work were happy. I never heard a discouraging word. With 1,000 toys walking around, if a piece of paper would be on the ground, they would go out the way to pick it up and take it. I've never seen nothing like it in my life.
That is fantastic.
And the church service, the whole arena, 900 plus would sit down there for church service that long. So the youth today, really, that makes it all worthwhile to see.
Yeah.
There really are such good young people coming up.
Well, I've got to ask you one last question, Bernie, but of course I also have to say congratulations are in order. I think the council will be honoring Bernie Moore as the Scoutmaster of the quarter century at its annual Distinguished Citizens Award banquet to be held later this year. And I really wanted to, I'm not even going to ask you to put that into words, but what has scouting meant to you, Bernie Moore?
But it's been a guide in my life. I've tried to follow it with the different troops I've had through the years, and now I've got people up and 60 years old with Eagle Scouts when I was in my troop and all, and it's really a bond. And one of the things that Babe Powell taught is that you teach and guide a boy and then sit back and watch him grow. And that's the whole thing. You teach them and then you let them go and let them grow.
There may be questions as to whether or not the Boy Scouts of America are based on the Bible. Surely the idea of training up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart, is reflective in the entire guiding principles of the Boy Scouts. Bernie was guided by the Boy Scouts 66 years ago, but to think how many young men and now young women he has guided those same principles through over the last many, many years is amazing, truly amazing. Bernie Moore, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People coming up next. Call 843-662-6306 to learn how you can make a positive impact in the lives of our youth.